Rescue efforts are still underway in Hawaii after a series of devastating wildfires swept through the island of Maui. As of this morning, officials confirmed that the death toll has risen to 93, making it the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century. But that number is expected to climb in the coming days as crews work to locate hundreds of residents who've been reported missing. National Guardsmen have also arrived on scene to assist with search and rescue efforts. And the island will have a long and expensive road to recovery as much of the damage is in residential areas. Joining me now, the governor of Hawaii, Josh Green. Governor Green, thank you very much for coming to the Sunday Show and for coming on the show because you are 6 hours behind us. It is 10 to 4 in the morning, so I really appreciate your coming on. President Biden approved a disaster declaration in Hawaii, which unlocked federal aid for Hawaii. What do Maui residents need the most right now?
Well, thank you for having me, Jonathan. They need our love. They need our embrace, and they need resources. So we were honored to have the president jump to it so fast. My flight returned at 11:50 that night. At 12:10, we finished our documents to get to the president, and in 6 hours, he approved the presidential declaration. It was incredible within 6 hours. So that opened up, like you said, FEMA and amazing support for recovery. But right now, we are still in the throes of the acute phase of this recovery, meaning that we're still recovering the tragic loss of life and the bodies that were, previously our beloved people here in Hawaii. We're at 93 now, like you said. It's a war zone, but the help is incredible. We were lucky enough to have now about 150 FEMA officials already on the ground. And I don't know if people completely understand this, but this fire essentially happened late in the evening on just the 8th. Today, I think, is the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. And we already have all of these officials there helping our people. And not just FEMA, but the Small Business Association administration and the fire management leadership. So we're grateful to the president. We're grateful to all of the police and fire support that we've had, but we're grateful to America because tens of millions of dollars of support have already come, and every agency and group under the sun has reached out to us. So thank you, everyone.
So, Governor, as you know, the initial response to this emergency has been criticized. Reports suggest there was a lack of audible sirens and warnings once the wildfires started, giving people less time to evacuate. Your reaction to that, and was the initial emergency response lacking?
Well, my reaction, of course, as an emergency room doctor, more than as a governor, is that it is almost impossible to know in the throes of the acute part of a crisis if you did everything that you could. We have, in my office, asked for a comprehensive review with our Attorney General because we decided to be on this fully transparently right from the start. But let me share a few things. What was happening was this. It was a fire hurricane. And I want to warn the entire planet about this, all of America and all of the world. We were experiencing very dry conditions, drought conditions because of global warming, which is obviously very real for us here and everywhere. In addition to those drought conditions and difficulties with water management because there's just not enough water here in our islands, we then had the penumbra of a hurricane. Hurricane Dora had just passed south of us, leaving 60-mile-per-hour winds still with gusts up to 81 miles per hour. So what happened was when fire jumped from one spot to another, there were 3 or 4 fires going on at the same time. It got seeded very quickly with those 80-mile-per-hour gusted winds. And then the fire moved essentially at a mile per minute, 60 miles an hour down through the community. And that's what a fire hurricane is going to look in the era of global warming. And so we have to all do right now what we can to stop global warming and reverse it. Now, as to the sirens, we'll know soon whether or not they did enough to get those sirens going. But there was massive destruction of telecommunications. Otherwise, we ourselves would have communicated with each other like we always do within seconds on our cell phones. And that's basically what happened. But we'll make sure we get to all the answers that people deserve. I've also authorized the dual status command center with the president and the Joint Chiefs. So now we have a lot of military presence to protect the area also, right, and let people do the investigation.
And Governor, within the last 20 minutes, the president was asked by the press pool traveling with him in Delaware whether he had any plans of going to Maui, and he said, quote, "We're looking at it." Do you anticipate the president of the United States coming to Hawaii in the coming days?
I know the president will come if we need him on the ground at that moment. He's so respectful of us that he said, anything, Josh, you need anytime. But also, I think the president is cognizant that he travels with a lot of people. And right now, we're still in the acute phase of the recovery. Again, to share with people what it's like at Ground Zero, everything is burnt to the ground in Lahaina. Here's a little picture. I mean, it's completely destroyed, okay? Every red building there is destruction. And when you see the structures, it was 1,000-degree heat creating fire cyclones going through buildings. So I'll just be graphic, and I apologize if there are any children watching the show. When we try to lift and embrace those that we've lost, there's nothing there practically, and it means that it's such a delicate scene as a result of the natural disaster that even I just won't get into the details. It's too grim. Yeah. It's right now, first of all, a hazardous site, and we don't want to expose anyone unnecessarily to that. And also, the president, I mean, my God, in 6 hours and 10 minutes, he turned around that declaration for us. Normally, it takes days to weeks. So they're giving us what we need. But we would always be honored to see anyone from the administration, and we love the president.
Governor, our thoughts and prayers are with you and the people of Hawaii, and specifically the people in Maui. Hawaii Governor Josh Green, thank you for joining us this morning. And if you'd like to donate, you can do so at hawaiicommunityfoundation.org. And to locate missing loved ones, contact 1-800-RED-CROSS.